program in question is called License to Learn, or L2L. And L2L is at its core a program about peer tutoring. Working within schools, students are matched one-on-one with a peer to provide ongoing academic support and leadership development opportunities. At least that's what it does now. But when it first started and when I first became engaged with the program, it was really the focus was very much on academic improvement. That was really the goal. It was started by teachers who were very clear on the fact that that was really the initiative here. Was to find a way to help those students who were struggling to gain academic skills. And that's great. But what we noticed is that a lot of the language in this program, and I think this is not uncommon to youth programming, is there was talk about future leaders, developing the leaders of tomorrow type of thing. And the perspective that I come from in youth engagement is that leadership isn't a thing that youth do in the future. Being leaders in their communities is something that they do today. And so how do we engage students in that capacity? But also to what you were saying, John, who is it that is engaging in our program? So when I started to look at License to Learn, one of the things that we discovered was that there wasn't very much in place around any sort of data collection. And what little data collection there was really focused on offhand anecdotal stories that no one knew what to do with, or desperately trying to get information on student grades as a marker of change, which of course is really difficult to do in different school boards and with different privacy policies. And so when they came into looking at evaluation, I think they really were looking at, well, we need funding. Funders want evaluation. Can we get you in here and give us some numbers? So in that sense, what we were looking at was not so much about how to engage or what the impacts of the program were. It was really about adding legitimacy to the program. And so as a result, it was very focused on the quantitative. So for me, I think a key part of doing this work was having conversations around reframing the conversation to a question about connection, about what leadership looks like, and kind of stepping back for a minute. As I said, I work in the international sphere, and so a big thing for us in that sphere, especially right now, is adopting very explicitly feminist and human rights-centered approaches to data collection, evaluation. And what that means in practice is being participatory, it means being co-created, it means being action-oriented, and being strengths-based. And I think that these perspectives are really vital when we're talking about looking at measuring impact, community change, connection, and youth engagement. And so introducing these concepts to that program was in a way that made sense, in a way that was feasible for a program where most of the data collection was being done by volunteers, where the program was spread out across Toronto and the GTA, so there was a huge geographical diversity, and where there was a lack of awareness around how to use qualitative methods in an effective way, was really critical to shifting the conversation from outputs, how many kids, how many schools, to outcomes. And once we started to make that shift, we were suddenly able to uncover so much about who we were actually serving, how they were being served by the program, and that completely changed the way that we talked about our program, how we did outreach, who we did outreach to, and really helped us look at what are the implications of this program long term. So I think that kind of reframing and focus on outcomes was central to us beginning to take those steps.